Committee, the House Energy and Commerce Subcommittee on Oversight and Investigations, and they are mad at the executives from the baby formula companies and holding a hearing, and they want to yell at those people. And also, they're mad at federal regulators about the lack of baby formula, and so they also are going to yell at those people. All of it part of a hearing to, I'm making finger quotes, get to the bottom of how this happened, yet we know how it happened.
Right, that's supply chain issues. You have supply chain issues. You had Abbott, the major factory, shutting down, which they have yet to connect the infant deaths to the manufacture of the baby formula at the Abbott factory. But it was a voluntary recall. The FDA came in. I'd like to know what people did wrong here other than react to stuff happening.
I don't think anybody did anything wrong. I think everybody did what you would expect them to do, and then the consequences were so surprising and upsetting. But that there was a shortage of formula that now, in hindsight, everybody's rethinking what would have been the right thing to do.
Okay, what would have been the right thing to do?
Well, I mean, the thing you pointed out, I guess if you want to say, did anybody do anything wrong, you pointed out something that happened way before Abbott had the contamination, which is this protective ban on letting foreign-produced baby formula into the country. Somebody somewhere could have said, baby formula is pretty important. Do we really want to make this a purely economic decision for the benefit of U.S. makers, or do we want to make a decision on this policy that ensures multiple streams of baby formula?
100%. And I really like that crystal ball approach to life. You should have known.
I think in a lot of cases, yes, governments should have known, and they just failed to entertain the thought experiment about what could go wrong with this decision that we're making.
Yeah. For example, not allowing foreign pharmaceuticals in with the FDA. You should have known that this life-saving drug that was produced overseas, we should have eliminated the restrictions in the United States because people would have been safe. You can go any place with that. Let's move on.
All right, as expected, the California water officials yesterday adopted a ban on watering certain green spaces. So, starting June 10th, you're going to start to see some brown grass forming outside businesses, industrial facilities, places like colleges, hospitals, government facilities. This is anywhere where somebody has non-functional turf, and if you do water those areas, you can be fined up to $500 a day.
After June 10th, so front-loaded. Just 24/7 water that lawn.
Just save it all up.
Just right up until June 10th.
But I don't know. I don't know who's going to be the water police on this. I think that's still the big question.
You want to get neighbors to report on each other. You want to do a snitch society.
They did that before.
Yeah.
We're supposed to report each other.
It wasn't even reporting. It was just shaming. It was grass shaming.
Yeah, if you had a green lawn and your neighbors gave you for sure.
Well, UCLA is going to pay almost $700 million to victims of one of their former gynecologists. Some people are saying it's a record for a public. This problem of, I know I'm interrupting my own thought, this problem of doctors at universities abusing students is so pervasive that they're starting to keep track of the stats. This will be the biggest payout for a public university in such a case. Not for a private university. That's a separate set of stats. The USC claims the prize there with almost $1 billion, actually more than $1 billion. But in this case, UCLA is going to pay out almost $700 million after they announced about $375 million in additional settlements.
Yeah, it's
and then Michigan State University was the previous record holder for a public institution. I'm saying all of this to point out how awful and insanely dark and bad it is that this happens all over this country, so that now you can keep these kinds of records about how big the settlements were.
And the problem here is not that it happened. That's a huge problem, obviously, that it happened. It's the cover-up. It's the universities knowing that it's happened, or should have known. They have information, and they still kept the doctors in place for decades. Nasser with U.S. Olympics is one of the situations. Here, Dr. Heap, they let him retire. They had the information. They actually knew. It wasn't suspicion. They knew. And let him stay on another 2 years before retirement. That's what happens. You get nailed. And then the taxpayers end up paying for it because there's no other way around it. So we get hit with it. Mazel tov.
So we end with number 19. It's a lighter story, but still definitely very newsy about the fish, Wayne.
I don't know how much lighter it is. A study has found that virtually every single fish in the waters off Florida are full of pharmaceuticals that have gotten into the water there. And tested 93 bonefish. They found multiple pharmaceutical drugs in every single one of them. There are several dozen different pharmaceuticals that have been found in the blood and tissue of fish.
Yeah. What, Valium, blood pressure medicine, antidepressants, goes on and on. You know that that when you're fishing and there's an issue there is when you pick up one of these fish and it doesn't flop, it's just bored stiff. Then you know Viagra is in that fish. Okay. Hey, let's move on and get depressed again. We're going to have Jim Ryan, ABC News correspondent, join us from Uvalde, Texas. This is KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Common sense left California a long time ago. We're bringing it back.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Waiting for an update. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. We understand that at any moment we are expected to get a news conference from law enforcement officials in Uvalde, Texas, where yesterday's second deadliest school shooting in U.S. history happened at an elementary school. A shooter opened fire at Robb Elementary yesterday, killing at least 19 students and 2 teachers before he was killed in a shootout with cops. ABC's Amy Robach says the 18-year-old shooter was a student at a local high school.
Before entering the school, gunman 18-year-old Salvador Ramos, a student at Uvalde High School, shot his grandmother at her residence. She is now in critical condition. Shortly after, the suspect crashed his car outside of the school premises where he engaged with law enforcement.
The Texas Rangers have learned the shooter bought guns on the first day he legally could. That was on his 18th birthday. Connecticut Democratic Senator Chris Murphy pleaded with his colleagues yesterday to do something about mass gun violence.
I'm here on this floor to beg, to literally get down on my hands and knees and beg my colleagues. Find a path forward here.
Murphy was formerly a representative from a district that included Sandy Hook Elementary School. He recalled the trauma students there experienced after the shooting in 2012 where more than 24 were killed. News is brought to you by veteran-owned Semper Solaris. Supervisors in Orange County unanimously approved a gun violence awareness resolution just as news of the school shooting in Texas was breaking.
We just received breaking news that there is yet another mass shooting.
Supervisor Katrina Foley's resolution to declare next month National Gun Violence Awareness Month had just come up for discussion.
14 students and 1 teacher are dead at a Texas elementary school.
The number of children and adults killed yesterday would go up.
We may differ on the remedies, but I know that each of us has had enough.
Foley said she first proposed the resolution in response to a mass shooting in Orange that killed 4, a road rage shooting that killed a 6-year-old boy, and a mass shooting just last week in Laguna Woods. In Orange County, Corbin Carson, KFI News.
UCLA will pay a record of almost $700 million to thousands of women who allege decades of sexual abuse by a campus gynecologist, the story we were just talking about on Handle on the News. This UCLA Medical Center employee says James Heaps assaulted her twice during exams.
The protector, their most highly paid doctor, told me to be quiet, go back to work. I'd lose my job. I was even harassed and threatened for reporting him.
The $374 million settlement approved yesterday was for more than 300 women. Heaps has pleaded not guilty to 21 felonies. UCLA says new reforms are in place to protect students. The LA County Sheriff's Department says it's looking for a man who shot at a CHP officer in East LA.
The officer was driving near 3rd Street and Ford Boulevard yesterday morning when his car was hit by gunfire. The officer jumped out and took cover. Transit deputies nearby heard the gunshots and offered backup. They shot back and hit one of the men, his conditions unknown. The second man got away. Some on-ramps and off-ramps around the 710 freeway were closed for hours, and Gold Line service was stopped while investigators searched the area. Steve Gregory, KFI
The
News.
Russian military says the key Ukrainian port of Mariupol is back in operation after 3 months of fighting. The Russian Defense Ministry says the military has finished clearing the port of mines. The Russian forces are now in full control of Mariupol's area. And House Speaker Pelosi has criticized the decision by the Catholic Archbishop of San Francisco to deny her communion because she supports abortion rights. Pelosi says she respects the people that have different views, but not when they impose them on others. Pelosi says she comes from a large family with many members who oppose abortion. We got an update on the 10, but first it's sports with Wayne.
Well, here's the thing that Mookie Betts did during yesterday's Dodgers-Washington Nationals game.
He hits a drive deep to left field. Way back and in goal home run. Mookie Betts a 3-run shot.
Betts hit another homer later, and he wasn't the only LA player to go yard as the Dodgers won by a score of 9-4. That series wraps up today at 1:05 live on AM 570 LA Sports, brought to you by Chef Marito Seasonings. Julio Urias will start for LA. The Angels beat the Texas Rangers 5-3. Noah Syndergaard threw 8 innings of one-run ball. Game 2 gets underway at 6:38 with Reed Detmers on the mound. I'm Wayne Resnick, KFI Sports.
Checking for termites, checking home for termites is not something you do if you don't know you have termites. So let me suggest, in any case, calling the folks at Pacific Coast Termite. And here's why. They're going to come out and give you a free inspection. Certain restrictions apply. And if you do have termites and you don't know about it, well, now is the time to deal with them. They will treat your home for termites without tenting. And you can still be home. They come out, and it is done. Tenting is a whole different animal. That is horrific. And by the way, you can't ignore termites, even a little bit. I mean, they start doing damage, and then the colony grows, and no one needs that. If you do have termites, that's an easy phone call to make little bugs flying around and wood shavings at the bottom of your dashboard. So this is all about Pacific Coast Termite. Call 800-PACIFIC, 800-PACIFIC. Visit PacificCoastTermite.com. Free inspection, 800-PACIFIC.
Pacific Coast Termite kills termites.
The clean, friendly way.
Taking a look at your KFI financial report brought to you by Sweet James Accident Attorneys. The Dow is up 45, S&P is up 8, NASDAQ is up 29, and the average price of a gallon of unleaded gas in California is $6.07.
If you're hurt in an accident, call the attorneys at Sweet James, 800-500-5200.
SoCal weather from KFI. It's our warmest day of the week with highs at the beaches in the mid-60s to the low 70s. We'll be in the mid to upper 70s for Metro LA and OC, upper 80s to mid-90s for the valleys and the IE, and we'll start to cool it down each day as we head into the weekend. Let's get a look at that drive, and Jeff Baugh is checking out what's going on now on the 10.
If you're hurt in an accident, call the attorney.
Oh, sorry about that. Clay wanted to go again, apparently.
It's okay. An update on Boyle Heights now. This is a transition, actually. It's the westbound 10, the San Bernardino Freeway. Transition is southbound 5. It's used every morning. It's only 2 lanes, as you know. There was a stall, a truck hit it. The right lane was blocked. They had to shut the whole freeway down. So they're clearing it now. But that west 10 backed up from the 710. If you still have the option, use the west 60 to the west 10. That's probably where you were headed anyway. Yorba Linda, quite a problem here. West 91 and 55. Left lane's been blocked there for a while. It's adding to slowing now, coming away from the 241. That's a little unusual. And real quick, I'll follow up on this for you. North 101, the Hollywood Freeway at Sunset Boulevard. A little bit of a fire off the freeway. More on that coming up. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jeff Baugh.
You know, every 3 seconds there is a new victim of identity theft. A criminal could be applying for loans in your name, selling your personal information on the dark web. Now, protecting your identity can be very easy thanks to LifeLock by Norton. No one company can prevent all identity theft or monitor every transaction of every business, but LifeLock is simple and easy to protect yourself, and you'll save up to 25% off your first year when you go to LifeLock.com or call 1-800-LifeLock. Just use the promo code Hannity.
Hey, kiddo, ready to catch that movie?
Almost. Wallet, phone, keys, mask. Yep, all set.
Mask? That's not required, is it?
No, but it's gonna be busy and crowded, so I'll feel better with it on.
Speak right. It is open at night. Let me grab mine.
Nice. You'll pass the vibe check, Dad.
Wearing a mask when it can help protect you and others is just one way to keep each other safer. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
I feel incredible because I called 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
radio station.
Kfi Am 640, Bill Handel here. It's Wednesday morning, May 25th. Obviously, we are covering the aftermath of the shooting.
The 2006 computer ready for twisting. Bacon with meat, cheese.
Discerning drivers will appreciate the 2011 Audi A3. An optimal mix of performance and efficiency. The 2-liter turbocharged gas engine was named one of Ward's 10 best engines for the 5th year in a row, as well as an International Engine of the Year for the 5th time. The available TDI clean diesel engine decreases CO2 emissions while providing impressive fuel economy.
Confidence and poise are expressed throughout the exterior. Dynamic proportions are achieved thanks to stylish alloy wheels fitting perfectly inside the fenders. The S-Line exterior accentuates the already powerful and bold exterior of the A3 with S-Line front and rear bumpers, rear spoiler, and S-Line badges on the fenders.
Up to 5 passengers bask in the comfort of the leather-trimmed interior. Audi prioritized handling and performance with features such as a tachometer, front fog lights, and air conditioning.
The audio system features Audi Concert Radio with Sirius satellite radio. It provides 140 watts of power, MP3 capability, a CD player, an SD card slot, and auxiliary input. With side curtain airbags supplementing the rest of the safety network, you can be assured